So the first thing we're going to do is put the skin tones on, and I'm going to not go into too much detail about skin tones because I'm sure you'll have your own way of doing it. If you want to see how I do it, most of my videos will include how I do the skin tones, so get those on first. Next I'm going to take this, the console blue. I tried many different colours to get the vein, but I found this, the console blue, was one of the best colours. Now if you look at your own veins on the back of your hand as an example, you'll see that they've got like a bluey grey kind of colour to them. So I tried grey, I tried purple, and all those colours just didn't look right. I tried this one and it just kind of did the trick. Now if you haven't got console blue, just a dark blue mixed with some white should do the trick, but all I'm doing is taking a really thin brush and I'm going to just follow the veins. Now on this Juggernaut model from Wiki there are quite a few veins and I really did want them to stick out, and my Juggernaut video is coming up very soon, but on this one this is just a video of how I did the veins. There's probably lots of ways of doing it, but I didn't see many on the mighty YouTube, so I thought, do you know what, I'm going to do one. Now I've worked out how you do them. So you get that blue all over, then I want you to move to your airbrush and take your flesh tone off using Barbarian flesh, and as you can see there, with a really thin layer. And what I'm going to do is just put that thin layer of flesh over the vein, so that blue that you thought, blimey, that's a little bit of a strong blue, starts to be toned down with the flesh colour, and it just looks like then that that blue is sitting underneath a really thin layer of blue. Now again, which skin tone do you use? Well, that's down to how you want your skin tones to look. I found that if I use the darker Nomad flesh on the base layer and then I move to Barbarian flesh, these are in the Army Painter paints that I'm using, the lighter colours on top of the veins works well. You can also try dry brushing them on if you really want to. If you haven't got an airbrush or you want to try dry brushing, that's fine. I just find if you've got the control, and I'm using an Iwata Neo airbrush here, and it really does give me the fine control to get a really thin layer of paint on there and go over each and every one of the veins. Now some of the veins by default will vanish away again, and that's fine. We don't want all your veins to be seen, but on the whole, the majority of them, especially the big ones, you'll see them coming through the really thin layer of skin tone paint that you're putting on. And once you've done this section, you can leave it at that if you want to. If you're happy with that, you can leave it at that. It will look absolutely fine. You might need to touch your skin up a bit, you might need to add a few little differences in skin tones, but your veins will be virtually done. The only other thing that I like to do after this is I will take a wash. Now what I use is the Army Painter Flesh Wash, purely because it's a flesh colour, it's like a tint of red, and I'm going to take that flesh wash on a really thin narrow brush, and I'm just going to work above and below some of the veins in the areas that will sit in the shadow on the whole. I just want to make the veins a little bit more pronounced, and what I tend to do is just put a line underneath the vein or above the vein, and I use my thumb to just squash it out a little bit. Now again, this, you don't have to do this. If you're happy with the end result, that's absolutely fine, but a lot of people use the skin tone when they finish the models on the joints and in the grooves of the hands and the arms, etc. I just think it looks a little bit nice underneath the veins, and they stick out a little bit further. Again, purely optional, but I quite like this. And if you find that you put a bit too much on and you've overdone it and it turns into a line, don't worry about it. You can just get your skin tone again and just touch it up ever so slightly. As I say, some people would rather not do this section of the process. So I'm going to go over the whole model and do it paying particular attention to the bigger veins and the ones that will naturally sit into the shadow. But I think as you can see going through there, you'll see that the vein colour is pretty good. That console blue with a really thin layer of skin tone on has kind of done the trick, and I think it works really well on this 3D model in particular. If you want to buy anything that you see on this video today, I'm an Amazon affiliate, and you can buy things from me in my description. It won't cost you a penny more, but it will allow you to get something, and a little bit comes back to the channel. And if you want to subscribe to the channel as well, that really would be appreciated. So there we go. There's old Juggernaut's veins. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll stay tuned because the next video will be Juggernaut himself. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.